Hello, group. See the divine light coming off my forehead? Just kidding. It's the sun. Anyway, happy day 6. Um, I'm actually having to take notes before I make these posts because you guys you're kicking ass. You're out there, as they say, you're kicking ass and taking names. You're out there making changes, asking great questions. The questions get deeper and more involved every day, and so I have to take notes because usually I can just talk forever looking at this I'm seeing you through this little hole. It's called a lens of a camera. But so make some specific points. I've taken some notes. One of them is I'd like to liken today's topic to what and refer to in lay terms as spiritual accountability. When I'm able to look around and accept and even say to myself, everything that I see, I attracted personally. There was no force outside of myself that I could put responsibility on. Now, people want to argue that and go, yeah, but I didn't ask that person to wreck into me with their car. Well, somehow or another, you did attract that. I got 3 car accidents last year, and I know I attracted it. And that's a whole other story. But anyhow, spiritual accountability, when you can say that to yourself and believe it and understand and know it, you become the most powerful person in your own life, period. You are a creator. And that is amazing. So, and if you look around yourself right now and honestly assess what you see, what's the harder thing, I think, sometimes for people to accept is, wow, man, I created all this, the good and the bad. But the great news is, from this moment forward, you get to change it and make it whatever you want it to be. You've always had that power, but it's by paying attention to what you're doing, what you're thinking. And I remember in one of the excerpts from Abraham where they were expressing, it's crazy to try to think about what you're thinking because then you're thinking about what you're thinking and then that turns into thinking more about what you're thinking and that just becomes crazy, and it's true. But just think about this. The way you think is a habitual pattern that you took a long time to develop. So sometimes it takes some time to change things. And I say that, now don't limit yourself and think that you got to take it doesn't take as long as it took you to get there. Some changes you can make like that instantly in your life. Other changes are going to take a little time. Just be patient. I think what I vibe a lot out of the group sometimes is people want to get there so fast. And you're already there. You're here. It's like we spoke about that yesterday, so we won't go into that. And Jessica had listed a very good analogy about scrubbing the dirt. But just be patient with your progress. You don't have to get anywhere. Just let things happen for you as you come to understand this. And when it comes to changing your thinking, just notice what you're thinking first is the first step. And then start making adjustments along the way. And you'll find that to be incredibly helpful. We talked about cleaning. I can tell you, if I ever feel, and Joe has it in his book, and Jessica asked about it here in the group, yeah, cleaning, shopping, although I'm not an advocate on going out and spending a bunch of money to feel better. It can help raise your vibration temporarily until you get that bill, if you're buying it on credit, which will bring down your vibration. But all joking aside, things that make you feel good can be good for you as long as you think of what the consequences of whatever that thing is. When I was younger, I used to use drugs. And they made me feel good while I was using them. But man, for the other 95% of the time, they were wrecking my life. So, 20 years ago, I went through a phase of that. And I had to change. So I had to realize just because something makes me feel good doesn't always make it good for me. So you have to look at what is the price you pay for feeling good. Now, like for instance, cleaning your house. That's an awesome example. Whenever I start feeling cluttered in my head or in my spirit, overwhelmed, or I feel sloppy in myself, I'll go through and do a reorganization, cleaning, and purging. My poor kids, they never have toys for very long because as soon as a piece is missing, it's gone. Because it doesn't serve them anymore. It just is space in a drawer or a box, toy box somewhere. But anyhow, so I go through and I clean and it feels great. But until I change what's going on inside of me, the mess that I cleaned up will reappear very quickly. Now, over time, you start noticing as you grow spiritually and cleaning your house. We'll use that as a perfect example. My kids are extremely organized now because I'm not a tyrant about it, but I just point out, like, hey, does that sock belong over there in the middle of the room? No, Daddy, sorry, we know where it goes. And they take it to put it in the dirty clothes hamper. So we all improve when we have an effect on the people around us too. But I'll give you another example of cleaning. You ever notice when you take your car and get it washed, the car feels faster? I know it sounds silly, but I've talked to a lot of people that say, oh my God, think about it. Next time you get your car cleaned or you clean it, you'll feel like it's not only does it feel newer to you, but it feels like the car actually drives faster. And it doesn't, obviously. It's just a neat feeling. So anyhow, well, actually, just to close off, I'll say this. People concentrate a lot of their lives on changing things outside of themselves. They do makeovers, physical makeovers where they change their makeup, they change their haircut, they change the style of clothes that they wear, they move. They call that geographical denial. They change all these outer circumstances. But if you don't make the change inside, you might experience some short-term change outside of you, and it might even make you feel good. But in the end, until you make that change internally, you're just going to end up back in the same place you were before. So when you're asking the question, should I change the outside stuff? The outside stuff will change on its own. You can force the change. It'll find its way back. But if you make the change inside, you don't have to make the changes on the outside. They just happen for you. All you have to do is allow it. So happy Saturday, everybody. I love you guys. And with that, just have a blessed day and have fun. Love yourself. I love you. I love me too. Take care.